Gentle beings, fine people, fine feathered friends, hello, welcome to Prokorovka. Here we are in the batch at 25T, the tier 10 French medium tank. This is among the massive number, there's an English word for that, but I have no idea, the large amount of games that I played in the conquest for medium tank mission 15. After completing TD 15 for the 260, that was 8,000 damage in the Waffenträger Alpha 100 on Pilsen, which is a game I might cover, but it relied on not a lot of skill whatsoever, I must admit. Now, in the back chat here, obviously, for those of you who don't know, let me just look at the volume. I think I may need to readjust it. Yeah, that's better. So, this is TD 15 for you. 4,000 HP of damage to enemy TDs. I have to survive the battle and I have to win the battle. Now, we have a 63% chance to win here, so hopefully that won't be too challenging. The winning part, still have to damage all those TDs. So, some people like to active scout the range in their back chat. I have a very nice position that I like to use, which allows me to get spots on those going over the railway in a tank with max view range, like the back chat, 400 meters base view range. Combine that with the optics that I land on the back chat, allows you to pick up shots like this. And yes, I did just snipe the cupola of that AT-15 before I got taken down by the enemy arty with, I think, 0.36 accuracy. That's on the back chat. Combine with that with a 2.6 second aim time. This tank certainly isn't the most accurate vehicle, but as we know, the back chat excels at just getting in there and messing things up, not at sniping. Which is one of the reasons this game is so odd and quite remarkable, because we're going to spend a lot of our time sniping. Now, the objective in this location is, of course, to shoot up at the hill. You get to E6 and you get to F6 in order to shoot up at your team, or the enemy team on the hill, and support whatever engagements they are making. So, while I'm sitting here looking at these guys, I've always got that objective in mind as we just nab the teeth for a lightweight, and then get out for fear of incoming fire from the hill. We know we've got that 215B out there. Now, I'm keeping 2 shells. Now, why am I doing that and not going for it? Well, because the enemy team are shooting at this E100, and I know if my team poke there's a high chance that the enemy will get spotted due to the fact that they're shooting at this E100. So I keep the shells in the chamber, because I know that while this E100 is still taking incoming fire, there's a good chance that I'm going to get some vision, or there would be if my team was actually competent. Now that the E100's dead, not so likely I'm going to get any shots anymore, so I imagine I will go for it, fairly soon. I'm still hoping for spots, but it's just not going to happen. Okay, now, here we have a problem. Now, I mean, situational awareness is so important in these kind of tanks, isn't it? I mean, in every tank it's important, but in a back chat, especially in a matchup like this, you need to know how to keep yourself safe so that you can work to the later stages of the game where the back chat really excels. If you can keep your health in this vehicle, it moves mountains. It seriously does with the back. And I recommend to you, in the back, push that keep your health unless it's absolutely worth it mentality, and push it further than any other tank. It is probably not worth taking 320 damage from an object 140 if you're only going to get to put in 2 shells. It's probably not worth it if you get to put in 3 shells, although maybe. But you've got to be so careful with the back chat because it does not have a lot of health. 1.8 is not a lot. It's such a careful tank, and that's why when I see the enemy mustering such aggression with those 2 tier 10 TDs on that western flank, I'm instantly going to start relocating. Now, this is important. On this map, if you are located at E6 and you see that your team is losing the 1-2 line, get out. And this is so important. Now, as soon as I register that the enemy are going to take that 1-2 line, I may wait until the Star Panzer 1C dies. I'm not sure. Don't remember this game exactly. But I certainly registered at this point what is happening with those guys over on the 1-2 line. And they are pushing very aggressively. It's not going to be long until I make my mind up here about what I've got to do. And if I stay here, I am just gonna die. There's no point in staying in this location to shoot up the hill with those guys pushing out the 1-2 line. I will just get pinned down. In a batch out, I need to keep my mobility up. I need to keep the distance. I've got max range. I can most likely outspot those TDs. And we've got 1390 out there as well, YOLOing it away. So I get out of the middle position and I station myself out here where I have better shots at the TDs as they expose themselves. You can see the accuracy of the backtrack not holding up there, but we do manage to get the track on the SU. And is he going to stick about? Yes, he is. 990 damage to TDs there, it's worth pointing out. And I decide that I'm going to go for it. And you know, that's 38 seconds, we're going to be out of the match. And at this point, are the enemy pushing out the 1-2? How far are they committing? I think about at that point relocating back to E6 so that when I'm loaded I can support this. But then the E3 pops up and I'm just like, I've got to focus up on these guys, not only for my mission but because, as I said before, I'm likely to get pinned down. Now, I adjust my position here. The T110 E3 is about, I don't know, let's see exactly. Can we? He's about 400 meters away, 398 meters. If I fired in the open there, quite a high chance he would spot me. So I relocate into this area because it means I'm shooting through this foliage, which is 15 meters in front of me, and therefore means that this E3 will not spot me when I fire through it. We're aiming for the engine shot here, trying to make the most crippling shot that we can to this enemy tank, and it's always worth aiming for those engine shots when you get the opportunity. We lose the shot on the E3, but the E4 pops up out of nowhere, like, what a joyous occasion. Oh, and can we pick up the E3? No, we can't. Joint effort there. The backshot's poor accuracy combined with my dystonia and the fact that I'm a bad shot anyway. None of those things helped. Okay, so I know I've got an RT in play, and M50, M53 is ridiculously overpowered, so I'm going to see if I can get some vision up for him. Right now, if those TDs pop up on the side, then my RT is undoubtedly going to be able to get a shot into them. And it does look like we spotted the cupola of that E4, and we're going to quest farm him, hoping that our friend the RT is going to be able to do something about him. Got an E75 sat out in the open behind us, who's probably not going to remain stealth for long. And again, I'm just feeling very uncomfortable in that position. If I get spotted, I lose most of my hit points instantly, and maybe even die. I just feel like it's overcommitting, especially with that 1390 so far ahead of me. He was going to spot the targets before I did anyway. Now I see the E3 out wide. Am I spotted by him? No, but then the E4 pops up, and undoubtedly, yes, he will have spotted me. Now, I know that I'm not going to make an engagement here, so I do it right now in preparation for the enemy closing in. Now, the important thing right now is to get vision. I've got an RT, I've got the mobility to dodge the enemy RT. And unfortunately, our RT misses a shot. But still, I want to make a display of aggression and confidence to the enemy here. I want to make them know that I'm here, I'm ready, and try and delay them. Try and make them really think about what they're doing and slow them down. Make sure our RT knows where the important targets are at all times. And I'm trying to be as wily as I can in the hope that the 212A does not pinpoint a shot into me. 1,750 alpha damage on that 220mm cannonade sporting. And I do try and get out a proxy spot from that E3, but it does come up to the range. And we get lit up. There's a 1390 here, and now my plan at this point is to try and bait the T110 E3 over. You see, I'm locking my turret aim that way. I really want the E3s to attack up and over because it's a misplay. The Borsig will shoot at him most likely, the Arty will shoot at him, and if none of those kill him, I will. So I'm trying to make it seem like I'm not paying attention to the E3, but I do not think he's gonna buy it, or maybe he just doesn't fancy coming over. And so, at this point in his patience, we are losing 6-9, but we're in a tank to do something about it, and that 215B on the hill there is doing a hell of a job of holding and giving supporting fire. Down we miss a shot that most likely would attract the Panther II and given us a fantastic chance to probably take him out of the game. Now the E3 is on the one shot. I've got 2 shells left. Now, it's debatable whether I should go for a reload here. But at this point, I really do not feel like I have the time. So I can reverse out of the proxy of that E3. And our RT falls to the enemy RT. Good, we know the 212A has fired. Now I'm counting on the fact that this TVP is going to be aware of what I'm doing. I've got 2 shells left. I cannot handle both of these tanks on my own. And there we catch the E3 with his pants down. Poorly aimed shot there, should have manually aimed. But we do take him out and then push forward, displaying aggression once again to the Panther II in the hope of giving our TVP a bit of an advantage. While that Panther II still thought that we were a threat, that TVP managed to get 2 shots into him, which he wouldn't have done if we had just disengaged instantly after killing the E3. And we'd given him a chance of being able to take the Panther II down. How wonderful. Okay, so, we've only taken 1 shot this game. We have been very careful with our health in our batcher. And there goes the IS-20 as he poked the lineage foolishly, I might say. Now, this is something to consider as well. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the trials of Batchat play, if you played it yourself. And one of the main ones is that this tank does not carry a lot of ammunition. It really does not. I decided to go for a reload there with 1 shell left because... What? You didn't see anything. Unicum. Yeah, oops. So, I know that if I enhance the angle that I'm shooting at that 215B, it's going to do a lot for us. Our 215B is signaling for help against him. And there we go, we have his flat side, but it does seem to be a thin shot. I don't know where that shell vacated off to. Went to land? Never land. Went to Narnia to visit Mr. Tumnus. And can we hit the next one we've already squandered? Bouncing off his flat side. And the last one goes in from the side of his tongue. 3 shells left. Only 30 shells that you can carry in the Batchat. Now I switch over to this side of the land in order that I can disengage from the Waffle whenever I like. For example, if I engage there, give me a second here. If I engage this Waffle there, I don't have the choice. If I poke me in that corner, I can't disengage to a safer location immediately. However, if I'm here, I can shoot him, I can pull behind here, and I can get cover from the enemy arty. It's always good to be within reach of different layers of the land so that you can adapt your play depending on what transpires. The Waffle takes a hit from what has to be the Borsig really. And I'm trying to get spots up. And that is a very angry German TD. Let's see if we can feast on it with the shells that we have remaining. 1, 350. 2, it puts 1 shell into us. But we squeeze off the reload for our 7th kill. And 864 damage to that TD now, signaling to my team that the ammunition is empty. Which is not good. So, I'm gonna pop over here. I'm gonna see that 212A. Now, I know that the 212A has fired. Let me just set the scene for you here, gents. This may be a minor spoiler, but right now, I have done 4,064 or 62 damage to TDs. I have done medium tank 15 for the Object 260. All I have to do is survive and win. Unfortunately, I forgot that I had mission 15 for my medium tanks. And I very much wanted a Ladley Waters medal. So what's a batchat with no ammo to do other than ram the arty when you need to survive for your secondary? And I'm trying to reverse up. I'm trying to reverse up to ram him. I'm going up the hill so I can turn and ram him. And the TVP kills him. And in doing so, saves me from myself. Because had he not killed him, I would have rammed myself to death on the enemy arty, got a Ladley Waters, and thrown away medium tank mission 15 for the Object 260. I would have had to do it again because I'm not doing the RT missions. That, my friends, is where it's really not good to be me. Because I doubt anyone else would have just tried to ram the fudge out of the 2-2-A. And we survived that game on, what, 49 hit points. Gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed the gameplay, hopefully you've learned something. I now have one more mission, that is my light tank 15 left until I have an Object 260, so wish me luck with that, and hopefully I'll get to play out on stream for you guys soon, and see what a badass mission heavy tank that turns out to be. Gentlemen, until next time, farewell.
Jingle! Oh, sure. No. It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Can you stop camping, please, killer?